damn ball, RJ.
See, now Corey gonna go ahead and hit us with that Aerosmith coming out of the break. See, he flexing on me. Flexing on me right quick. His shoes are super clean, too. Look, you know it's super clean? Kirby Smart's super clean. I'm gonna tell you why. Because those of you that remember the 2015 Sugar Bowl between Alabama and Ohio State, remember that it ended 42-35, and that Alabama gave up 537 yards of offense, 230 yards rushing to Zeke, and sent Kirby Smart spinning. Now, I'm bringing that to your attention because Kirby Smart did what I want everybody to do, which is to say, how did I get my behind whooped? And he had enough confidence and self-esteem to say that to Tom Herman. After Tom Herman took the Houston job, he goes up to him and says, yo, you know, I won 4 national championships. I'm the best defensive play caller in football, but you handed me my head. Tell me how you handed me my head. And, you know, Tom Herman, he's at Houston. He ain't got nothing to hide. And he went up straight up to him and said, I got your defense cold, bruh. Y'all running palms up. You got a 365-pound nose tackle. You got a 260-pound inside linebacker. Why would I run at you? You're built for an 8- and 9-man box. You're built for people to run at you downhill. That's not what we do in my Ohio State. We run basketball on grass, sir. So if you want to get with it, this is what you're going to need to do. So, what does Kirby Smart do? Kirby Smart says, I'm going to go from a 365-pound nose to a 305-pound nose. I'm going to go from a 260-pound inside linebacker named Dante Hightower to a 225-pound Will named Roquan Smith. I'm going to remake my 3-4 so that it matches up with spread. So that when you go 3 wide, I can leave the same defense out there. When you go 4 wide, all I got to do is sub out my Sam linebacker for my nickel slot corner. That's what I'm going to do. And in doing so, remade Georgia. Took Mark Richt's Georgia and made it into the kind of team that should be competing for a national championship this year. Now, take a look at the 2018 Sugar Bowl. You get Kirby Smart head up against Tom Herman again. You saw Texas beat up on Georgia, and everybody's going, Texas is back. Nah, Texas ain't back. It's just Tom Herman knows Kirby Smart backward and forward. And that's Tom Herman over there calling plays. We used to think it was out. Nah, it ain't that. Nah, that he ain't gonna let go of that play card no more. That's his. Nah, that's his.
For the rest of the time.
Man. Like, it's like when Gus Malzahn gave up the play card at Auburn. Everything went into the crapper. Just started circling the drain in the toilet. They gave him back the play card, gave him back the play sheet. All of a sudden, they go back to winning games. So I think Tom Herman, good play caller. Gus Malzahn, excellent play caller. And then we know about Lincoln. But I'm bringing that to your attention to say that, look, I don't necessarily think that everybody should get the props that they do for going up to other folks and saying, hey, how did you beat me? Because, you know, if you are Kansas and you're going up to each team saying, how did you beat me? They're like, look, we got better players than you. Like, recruit. Can't help you.
Garbage.
But, right. Trash.
Garbage.
But for Kirby Smart to do that with Tom Herman immediately after, you know, they lost the Sugar Bowl by 7 points. And it wasn't like a Blake Sims-led Alabama team didn't just beat the brakes off of Ohio State's defense. Because they were up in that game.
About 15?
Right.
Yeah.
And I just remember going, I wouldn't have changed much of anything because I would have been like, nah, both teams gave up a bunch of yardage. Both teams were pretty good. Kirby Smart didn't see it that way. Went back through the film and counted up how many times that they didn't know who was aligned where. How is that any different than what we saw last year in 2018? I put up this clip on the Twitters, RJ_Young, of Trey Norwood lining up in the slot over LJ Humphrey, Texas. Big 12 title game. There was a check with me. Everybody looked to the sideline with their hands up. Trey Norwood was still looking at the sideline with their hands up, and he came a good 2 seconds late on the blitz. And LJ Humphrey should have had a pass called for 6. Sam Ehlinger was half the quarterback that Texas fans think he is. He makes that throw. Because he missed back-to-back touchdown opportunities in that game. Because, I mean, he's as accurate as a blind man with darts thrown at a dartboard. That's just Sam Ehlinger.
Right.
But there's something to be said about if Trey Norwood was lined up in the slot, would that play still have been made or had an opportunity to be made? And maybe it's just that simple. Maybe it's just, hey, let's simplify what we do. Let's run man, right? Let's load the box or let's not load the box. But either way you want to go with it, right?
Right.
Because Kirby Smart looking at spreads going, they're here to stay. Why would I keep coaching the thing that I know how to coach? Why not evolve with the spread that I got to defend? And from there, you end up with a Jim Thorpe Award winner at corner. Because the emphasis became, we have to play man-to-man at corner. We can't play zone. Zone is for the weak.
Yeah.
So I bring this to your attention because Jordan Thomas looked great first year, right? And then regressed. And people like to point that out. And then he's dropped an NFL combine record in the cone drill, which basically means that his change of direction is beyond elite. It's the best.
Yeah.
So what was the difference? Jordan Thomas does not play man-to-man or cover 3. That's not what he's not good. Quarters is not what he's going to be good at. He needs to play cover 2. He needs to have hook. He needs to have the flat. That's about it. If you ask him to run past 11 yards, he's going to get beat. And you can say that about most of the corners that Mike Stoops brought in.
Right.
These dudes are really good with things in front of them.
Yes.
And then when you're running 7 yards deep off the ball, right, you give 7-yard cushions, that's designed to keep things in front of you. You can't come up on top of people and run with them because that's not who you are. That's not what you do. And Kirby Smart says, hey, I got to get guys that can run the length of the field. And while people wanted to poo-poo DeAndre Baker's speed, his 40 time, he does not get outrun because he's got 100-meter speed.
There's a thing between game speed and actual, speed off the field.
Right. And my dude, he can run with you for 50 yards. You're not going to outrun him. You're not going to get separation. And you're allowed to do more things in the middle of the field if your corners and safeties can run with people. And that's what you're recruiting. That's what Kirby Smart decided the emphasis was. And at Oklahoma, I expect to see something similar. Because we're calling it a 3-4, but what it looks a whole lot like is what Kirby Smart runs at Georgia, which has that stand-up, rush in, jack backer, whatever you want to call it, that hybrid outside linebacker defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do a little bit more with your 2 inside linebackers, which are going to be basically the same player in Grinch's defense. But if you can't run and you're not big enough to be physical with people on the outside, it's all moot, which is why it's interesting that Grinch has said to everybody, if they are not big, long, rangy corners that can run, I don't want them. And I'm looking at that going, yo, do those things really exist in the wild? And then I look at Clemson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Bama. Yeah. I look at Georgia. Yeah. Even at Washington. Washington had 2 of the best defensive backs in football last year playing on one side. Byron Murphy and Taylor Rapp were crucial. Just crucial.
How much of you think is it the Big 12, like corners not wanting to come to the Big 12, or because when I first came to Oklahoma State in 2003, Derek Strait, Savage, I mean, y'all had like the best secondary in the nation, and that was a calling card for you for a while, man. Just
you were
defense.
also playing against different offenses.
That's right.
You were playing against I-formation offenses. You weren't playing Mike Leach's spread. How Mummy spread, the air raid had not become ubiquitous across the Big 12 yet. But I see where you're going with this. But I look at Texas. Texas defensive backs are big. Texas's defensive backs can run. Caden Stearns is going to turn out to be one of the better safeties of college football. B.J. Foster was that dude. P.J. Locke was that dude. Chris Boyd, 7th-round draft pick. But up until the end of the year, looked like a Thorpe Award-winning candidate. They could just play. And they're big, and they're long, and they're rangy. So if Texas can recruit them, so can everybody else, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I make the joke that you ain't got to be able to recruit at Texas. You got to be able to evaluate, because all the kids that grow up in Texas want to be able to go to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's really about, can your scheme hold up? One, Mike Stoops' team could not, but Mike Stoops is a heck of a recruiter. We'll get into that in the next segment. And did you recruit to your scheme? Because if you don't recruit to your scheme, like, say, Gary Patterson at TCU, yeah, you're going to get torched. But TCU was actual bad offensively last year.
Yeah, they were not good.
Still good enough to put a first-round draft pick in the 2019 draft this year. That's because he recruited to the scheme. People know what Ben Bangu could do. They knew what LJ Collier could do. You weren't going to... I mean, they played Ohio State to the brink. This is the same Ohio State team that won the Rose Bowl and that people were going, nah, they need to be in ahead of Oklahoma.
Yep.
TCU showed everybody how do you beat up on Dwayne Haskins with what we would all say is inferior talent because Gary Patterson recruited to his scheme. You know, they're saying you can't run 4 down linemen. Yeah, you can. You can't win with short defensive backs. Yes, you can. If you recruit to your scheme and you make the game fundamental for your players, you're going to be pretty good. You know, Patterson had a really cool way of saying how his 4-2-5 works. It's like, nah, that's real complicated for the coaches. For me, it's complicated because I send out 3 calls. You know, for me, I call the middle of the field with my front 6. I call one side of the secondary. I call another side of the secondary. But for them, it's 1 call. They all get the same call.
And they get to go play fast.
Right. And because you know who you are, you give a good evaluation to NFL teams who know what they're getting from you, and that's how you end up with dudes in the league. Again, TCU had a first-round draft pick. Texas didn't have a draft pick until the 5th round. Hoping something changes for Oklahoma in 2020 defensively, and maybe you might see a first-round draft pick. When we come back, talk about how one of those dudes in this 2019 class could be pretty good in 3 years, actually decided to stay committed after Mike Stoops was fired because Mike Stoops said, yo, stay here.